Hey everyone, a little nervous, but I'm gonna rant about why I don't want to say don't believe in HIV AIDS anymore, but don't. I'm a little disappointed and a little frustrated, and which has caused me to actually leave the field of HIV AIDS, even though I keep getting called back to it. Um, I've worked in HIV field for on and off for about 8-9 years, and whether it's a clinic, whether it's a non-profit organization, whether it's a hospital, they're all the same. They all encourage, they don't say it, but they all encourage positive diagnosis, numbers, 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 and it's all this continued push for more positives equal more funding. Now you would think that you would want less positives, that all of the programs that are out there for people with HIV are working, and that it's, you'll see less of it. But no, these programs want more. They want more and more and more. They want your actual participation in the program is irrelevant, because they can fake those numbers too. Your actual wanting, when I say you, I'm talking to HIV positive people out there, your actual desire to be a part of case management or to see your doctor, it's not really relevant. What's important is that they document that they tried, and that it's still a need. Their program is still necessary for you, whether you want it or not. People who work in this field know what I'm talking about. To someone who doesn't work in this field, it probably sounds crazy. But my point is that with these programs, there's more concern for numbers, and there's more concern for the numbers support that, look, HIV really is a problem. You see, we have all these people, they're not in compliance, they're not coming to us, they're not taking their meds, they're not seeing us monthly, they're not seeing us, and they're in what is it called? Pre-contemplation. They're not ready. They're in the first stage of change, and it's like, wait a minute, maybe they're not the problem. Maybe we're the problem. I have a problem with the way, with the push for people with HIV to be seen as victims. People with HIV, I don't know that HIV causes AIDS. I'm not going to pretend to know that. For many years, I believed that. I do know, however, that there's a lot of evidence that supports otherwise. Very hard for me to say, because I myself lost someone. I don't necessarily want to say to HIV anymore. It could be very well that the medication killed her. The medications out there for people with HIV, anyone who goes through a HIV magazine and looks at an HIV ad for medication, on the front it's like this glamorous, gorgeous guy, and he's riding a bike, or he's always riding something. He's sitting on top of the world, Shirata helped me through, or something, some bullshit like that. You turn to the back of the ad, and they're showing this medication causes AIDS-like symptoms. This medication has been known to cause certain toxins and blah blah blah, liver cancer, this, and it's funny, because all of the things that they're saying it's caused also qualifies you as being an AIDS patient. Food for thought. The medication still has AZT in it. The medications are still toxic. HIV AIDS is not, they like to say, oh, well, HIV is a managed, it's a It's a chronic illness. It's like diabetes. No, it's not like diabetes, because taking insulin is not like taking HIV medications, is it? So I don't like when they try to push for, oh, it's okay to have HIV, we need more meds, and let's do the AIDS walk, and let's try to build funds for medication, because this is a chronic manageable disease that we all can get, and we all can just take medications and manage it. No, that's bullshit. There's many people that take the medications and drop dead. There's many people that take the medications and all of a sudden have tons of illnesses that they never fucking had before. Excuse me. Next one. And there's a documentary that really speaks on this. It's called House of Numbers. There's a few, but that one's pretty long, and that one you really have to watch 2 and 3 times to really understand it. And I understand it more because I've worked in the field and I've had family. I've had someone close to me, and I've watched them deal with it. So I know of all the things they're talking about, and I remember sitting in the doctor's office and seeing the doctor flat out lie. You know? So it's I'm not just ranting out of my ass. I kind of know what I'm talking about when it comes to this. I'm not saying that HIV doesn't cause AIDS. I'm saying I don't know, and I'm not going to pretend to know. And it's upsetting that there's no push to reinvestigate this. There's no push to look at alternative theories. Any other alternative theory gets shut down, which is problematic. I mean, if we're so interested in curing this disease, shouldn't you want different perspectives? But no, there's only one perspective, and that's HIV causes AIDS, and let's keep people on on long-term medications to fight this chronic disease. And that's a problem as well. It's a problem even with the AIDS diagnosis, that you can have AIDS today and be very well tomorrow, but the fact that you were diagnosed with AIDS in 2004, whatever, it doesn't matter if you're totally well today and you have no other disease now besides the fact that you have the HIV virus in you. The fact that you were diagnosed with AIDS once, you will always be an AIDS patient. So if you have HIV and herpes, you have AIDS. Let's say, well, okay, herpes is forever, but let's say if you no longer have any outbreaks and you take, what's that herpes medication? I forgot. But you take that and you no longer have any kind of outbreaks. The fact that you were diagnosed with AIDS in 2004, you will always be an AIDS patient. That's political. Okay. African officials have admitted, not on record, but they have admitted that there's more funding for HIV than poverty. Poverty and being poor is still looked at as, well, that's your fault. There's often a blame to people who are poor and, you know, face poverty, and it's like, well, it's their fault. You know, they should have gotten an education. They should have went to school. They should have, they stop being so lazy. Stop drinking beer all day. No one ever wants to look at the society and say, what's going on with us? But HIV AIDS is like, well, we all can get it, so it's not something that can be ignored. We can't ignore them. So many countries fake their numbers, just like hospitals and clinics and non-profit organizations fake their number to get more funding, to get more money out of AIDS organizations, to survive. So there's a lot of problems with HIV, and it's not HIV. It's what's surrounding it. It's the lies that are being told, the push for medication when medication isn't that great, despite how much the pharmaceutical companies want to pretend so. It's not great, you know? They come to the clinics, they come to the hospitals, and they feed their staff. They say, oh, it's for educational purposes. It's an educational lunch. But the fact that they have to bring gourmet meals to keep your mind busy on the food, that you're not realizing what bullshit they're spreading to you. And then, of course, the doctors, they get these kickbacks. It's illegal, but they still find ways to legally do it. Of course, the doctor is going to continue to prescribe that. They're taking this doctor to see this show, and they got tickets to this and tickets to that, and eating at all, these fine restaurants. I've sat in restaurants where I wouldn't even dream of going to. But some pharmaceutical company pays for it and pass out some flyers and basically tells us, keep prescribing this medication. That I have been to. So if I feel like if your medication is that great, why do you need to, and your medication is not toxic and doesn't cause AIDS-like symptoms like it says on the back of the ad, why do you need to bribe me with sushi? Why do you need to bribe me with whatever the hell I was eating that day? And I've seen this in not just hospitals, clinics, non-profit organizations, this bribing staff to continue to prescribe these medications. They don't call it that because it's illegal now, but now they say, oh, they're educational sessions and we're just providing lunch. It's nonsense. So there's a lot of problems with HIV AIDS, and which has caused me to not want to participate in it's I don't know what to do. I don't know if I want to continue to work in it, but I feel like when you bring up these issues, you're seen as like you're stupid, you're an idiot. 1 second. I don't want to talk to them. So yeah, it's a problem, and I feel like we're not going to get anywhere if we continue to use people who are suffering for billing purposes. For it's hard to explain. People who work in this field know what I'm talking about. I do have a challenge though for everyone watching. If you're HIV positive and you're sick, let me know. But the catch is, I want to know if you're HIV positive and sick and have been sick just from HIV alone, or are you also taking medication long term? And of course the doctors will tell you, well, that's just the progression of HIV. But I want to know, is there anybody who's HIV positive, sick, and who has not had any kind of prior drug use history? If you have, let me know. Either through this video or send me a private message, because I really want to know, are people with HIV who don't have poor nutrition, prior drug use, just getting sick from HIV, or is it the meds? So I'm not bashing. I don't want anyone saying, bitch, you don't know what you're talking about, I have HIV and I have cancer and look at me. And no, I'm seeking knowledge. I'm seeking some kind of truth, because everything is not adding up. That's all I'm saying. So on World AIDS Day, I'm just looking for some truth, because we're not getting it. Thanks for watching.